Let's start here with a definition slide from my social engineering course. And this is a class of attack which is quite simply psychological manipulation. We're trying to convince someone to do something or disclose something which they wouldn't do under normal circumstances. So for example, you have almost certainly seen emails like this. This is just classic phishing. In this example, it's PayPal. The attacker would like to have you believe that your account has been limited and you must now go and follow that link in order to restore it. Now, inevitably, behind that link, there will be a request for information, almost certainly username and password, often other personal attributes or financial information as well. Now, have a think about what this means in the context of gaining access to administration facilities. If an attacker was sending emails like this, let's say from Amazon, saying that an AWS account had been limited and you must go and resolve now, how likely is it that they would obtain some valuable credentials? Certainly, it is a risk. But the risk is not just one of obtaining credentials from the administrator of the cloud service. It actually extends much further than that, and I've got a good precedent to show you. This is a story from 2014, and it relates to how the owner of the Twitter account N, so just one letter, it's just @N, lost his account in part due to social engineering of GoDaddy. The relevance of this, when we're talking about hijacking of services such as administration facilities, is that obviously GoDaddy plays a really important role in how online assets are protected, particularly when we're talking about how domains are managed. So what we're going to look at here could just as easily extend to the administration facilities of cloud providers. Now, what happened in this case is that the attacker obtained a small amount of information about the victim from PayPal. In fact, what they managed to get out of PayPal was the last 4 digits of the victim's credit card. With that information, the attacker was able to talk to GoDaddy and convince the support operator that the attacker was actually the victim. This wasn't because the attacker had exactly the right information. In this particular case, the attacker explained how GoDaddy actually let him guess 2 of the digits of the victim's credit card that were required to verify his identity. Just let him guess. So inevitably, the attacker convinced the operator that he was actually the victim, probably through some very typical social engineering tricks, and perhaps a little bit of sweet talking his way through to the point where the support individual at GoDaddy just wanted to be helpful. Once again, the very nature of having administration facilities for a cloud service on the public web, accessible by anyone, and protected merely by a set of credentials, does pose this risk. As we just saw, gaining access to the dashboard of a cloud service like Microsoft's Azure could have some pretty serious ramifications. We looked at the ability to go through and access sensitive information, and we also looked at how an attacker could then go and provision resources which could have a serious adverse financial impact on the victim. However, you don't need to have a compromise of administration facilities to put the victim under financial duress. Let's now move on and take a look at economic denial of sustainability.